Prime Minister holds a great deal of power. Each individual Prime Minister wields this power in their own unique way, pushing through their agenda and trying to accomplish their party's manifesto goals. The success of each Prime Minister ranges immensely, depending on numerous factors, from the size of their parliamentary majority to the strength of their opposition. He or she has to be strong, resilient, and powerful. Yet each Prime Minister, from Blair to Brown, from Thatcher to Cameron, have all had varying degrees of success. We decided to compare each individual Prime Minister from 1964, examining each of their terms during their tenure. We uncovered factors that contribute to a Prime Minister's success, including public support for their government, the strength of the economy during their tenure, media support, their decision to go to war, number of key resignations and dismissals from cabinet, and as mentioned before, the size of their majority and strength of their opposition. Each factor has the ability to affect the success of Prime Minister's tenure extensively. Lewis Beck states, when economic conditions are bad, citizens vote against the ruling party. The 2008 financial crisis resulted in Gordon Brown's administration being publicly condemned due to subsequent national economic failings. Public support during a Prime Minister's tenure is key because, well, they elect the government. Theoretically, within a democratic system, the public holds the PM to account. The role of the media is to inform the electorate. The Prime Minister's portrayal in the media is key to his or her success. Basically, bad press can have a negative effect on a political career. For example, Gordon Brown's smile. Next, a large majority means a Prime Minister has greater ease in pushing through his agenda. Protzik claims, parliamentary support is essential for the Prime Minister to claim authority over the executive branch of government. Parliamentary opposition has a massive say on the effectiveness of government. A strong, unified opposition led by a charismatic leader can make life very difficult for a PM. However, if an opposition is in disarray and their leader looks terrible eating a bacon sandwich, life can be a lot easier. Finally, a Prime Minister's decision to go to war can have a huge impact on his tenure. Just look at Blair and Iraq. 1 million protesters marched against the decision to invade, and there are now a few people who actually think he is a war criminal. Our hypothesis is that the most important factors for a Prime Minister to succeed are a strong majority, a weak opposition, and the support of the media. So what methods did we use to judge the success of Prime Ministers? Our research design involved using a fuzzy set Qualitative Comparative Analysis, or FSQCA, to investigate a causal relationship between factors and PM success. FSQCA allows us to identify multiple pathways to an outcome. In other words, which factor or combination of factors leads to prime ministerial success. The aim was to create a truth table filled with values for each different variable. Each Prime Minister is given a value between 0 and 1. The majority controlled by each PM was assigned a fuzzy set value, as was the number of dismissals and resignations for each of their respective cabinets. We gathered polling data on the public perception of each opposition leader. The same sources were used to rate public support for governments and PMs. These were both translated into fuzzy set values. For media support, we used a range of graphs, tables, and newspaper articles to assign a rating between 0 and 1. For war, each Prime Minister was assigned with a rating between 1 and 0, 1 being a large amount of involvement in conflict, and 0 being no involvement. For the economy, fuzzy set values were generated from information and statistics on GDP capita, unemployment rate, inflation rate, and quarters of negative growth. Our dependent factor, success, was determined based on 2 separate studies by Theekson and Gill that asked academics to rank PMs according to their perceptions of success. Each academic was separated into their political allegiance, whether that was Labour, Conservative, or Lib Dem. After assigning a fuzzy set value to each factor, we used the FSQCA program to analyse our results. Unfortunately, we found that our results were inconclusive. However, we were able to decipher a slight causal link between media and success. Surprisingly, negative public support also seemed to result in a successful Prime Minister, perhaps indicating some anomalies in our research. Our results may seem unusual, but we feel there is a need for further research in order to fill the gap in the literature and for policy implications, for example, media regulation. Furthermore, many other factors and unobserved variables may have influenced our results, ones which we did not consider, such as personality. This may be in part due to a lack of literature or a lack of research.